Okay, so Pedro, thanks so much. I mean, we've covered so many things, you know, in terms of data science, AI, machine learning. Let's kind of finish things up with how AI is used, right? Because every technology can be used for good or can be used for bad. And I'm sure AI is one of those that can lend itself to many, many uses. How does one balance ethics with AI?
I think data ethics is very, very important, right? Now that we start to have massive amount of data, right, in organizations, governments, companies, individuals are able to do things with data that were not possible before, and nobody had ever thought about that. Right?
I mean, like even just all the recent scandals with, you know, Facebook and Cambridge Analytica and all those kind of things.
And when we think about artificial intelligence can be used for the wrong purposes, right?
Right, absolutely.
Can be used for warfare,
right,
and can be used for the wrong purposes, right? So it is very important to have an open debate inside organizations about what is the right things to do with data and with artificial intelligence and what things should not be done. Right? I think it's very important to have this debate. A few guidelines, right? I mean, with ethics, it's very difficult to give black or white recommendations, but a few considerations, right? Data ownership is something that is very important. Understanding who owns the data. Humanity has been regulating land ownership for thousands of years, machinery ownership for hundreds of years, but we don't know what it means, data ownership. What does it mean that you own the data?
Right.
People don't know that, right? We have to find out.
Right. But there's this big controversy, like let's just take Facebook as an example, right? There's this whole thing about, you know, privacy, etc. But then the fact of that they, you know, them, as long as together with every other big tech company, is collecting a massive amount of usage data, right, and behavioral data on you. Is that the property of the company, and simply because they put it in their T&Cs that you agree to, that nobody has seen anyway, nobody really reads, but we just take, does that automatically give them the right to fully own that data, or does it ultimately belong to each individual user? I mean, how does one, simplistically, I would say the company owns it, right? Because they've been collecting it.
As a society or as humanity, we don't know that. We don't understand data ownership. We don't know. There are some regulations that are starting to flourish in the European Union, for example, GDPR, PDPA here in Malaysia, etc., but this is not mature yet.
There are so many open
questions. There are so many open questions. We need to find out, right? Otherwise, we can be in a scenario in which algorithms are making decisions for us that we wouldn't want them to make, like who should we vote for, who should we marry with, these kind of things. And so these kind of dystopic scenarios, we should try to avoid. And I think that regulation is something very important. It's going to play a very important role in the future, right?
Okay, so you're of the view that regulation is key.
Regulation is key.
And it should definitely not be just left to the free market, just do whatever you want.
Regulation is key. The other thing that is very important with data is how do we make sure that our algorithms are not embedding unfair biases.
Unfair biases. Okay, like what do you mean by that?
How do we make sure that our algorithms are not discriminating people because of reasons that they shouldn't be discriminated for?
Because at the end of the day,
for example, you're applying for a loan.
Right.
If you're applying for a loan in a bank, how do we make sure that the algorithm that is gonna analyze your application doesn't give you or that rejects your loan because of reasons that you shouldn't be rejected for?
No, absolutely.
Like for example, your demographics.
Correct, of course, because it all does start by, you know, supervised training or unsupervised training, but all that is initiated with human input at the start. Right?
This is a very, very, very interesting point.
Yeah.
Supervised learning algorithms can unknowingly learn unfair biases from the human beings that are training those algorithms, and we don't want that to happen, right? So this is very, very important.
Okay.
And there are many other areas where we have to find a common ground in terms of ethics. Who is responsible? When an autonomous car runs into somebody and there is an accident, who's responsible for that? Is it the car manufacturer? Who is responsible for that? This is also something important that we have that we have to discuss about. And I think society is just starting to think about these things. We don't have answers, but this is going to become part of our second nature very soon.
And we're probably going to learn through a lot of trial and error, and there'll probably be quite a few scandals or disasters, and then we'll finally learn, right? Because, I mean, I don't know, humankind seems to wait until something bad happens and then we figure it out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, but who is leading, like in terms of countries or companies, who do you think is leading the debates on ethics? Is there anyone leading it, or is it?
I mean, there are some regulations, and what we have seen last year, or this year, sorry, is the European.
Yeah, the GDPR.
The European
right?
Union taking the lead worldwide, right?
Yeah.
I think there has to be a global regulation, because this is not something that individual countries can solve. This is something global, right? So I think that the European Union taking the lead is a very good news. It's a reason for hope.
You don't think they went too strict and too rigid and too from the GDPR, like strictly just the policy? What's your personal opinion? I'm just curious as to.
It's difficult to know.
Okay.
It's difficult to know. We're experimenting at this moment.
Right.
We are just discovering something new. Right?
Okay. Okay.
So maybe GDPR is more conservative than other regulations in certain aspects, but I think it's important to find a solution for society as a whole. And as I was saying before, this solution can only be found through experimentation.
Okay. But you're definitely more of an optimist when it comes to AI than a pessimist.
I think there will be good things and bad things, like with any other technology, right? We were talking about people being able or not being able to get the right skills to move to the next kind of jobs, right? Some jobs are going to be automated by AI. Some people will do it and will learn and will move on, but some people might not be able to do that, and that can create some social unrest.
Yeah, but that has happened through the ages. There's always been these big transformational moments. No, very interesting. Thanks, Pedro. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so that was our episode on AI, machine learning. We got into what data science is and how to build a team and some of the ethical issues involved. So I want to thank my guest, Pedro URIA-RECIO. Yes, almost got it right. Thank you so much, Pedro, for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
That was really insightful. See you guys next time. We'll be talking about a different topic soon. Until then, stay well. Ciao.
Thank you. See you soon.